So first of all, congratulations, Michael, on the sort of taking over as the coach here.
Cheers, thank you. Yeah, it's been a good summer. Obviously I took over from Steve Nixon in the closed season. He's stepped down but stepped up into the committee. He's actually become the chairman. Obviously I worked with Steve, I was his first team coach for the past 2 seasons. Worked with him before that in the reserve team we had together here. So no, it was good to work with him and then naturally sort of step up and take over. Obviously I'm fortunate to get the job, but I'm happy with how things have gone.
And what's it been like for you personally? How's it been over the summer preparation with the squad? And
yeah, it's been good. I mean, I was lucky that the majority of the playing staff remained loyal to the club, remained loyal to me, have bought into what I've said we want to do. They haven't seen sort of an opportunity to jump ship. They've remained largely on board, which I hope they would do with me being such a close part of the group anyway, with Steve. And their loyalty and the loyalty of the lads around me, the coaching staff and the committee has meant it's been quite smooth really, the transition.
And you mentioned that Steve Nixon as well, who you've taken over from. Has he given you any sort of advice, any sort of words of, just to help you get along in this sort of early beginnings of your career taking over as a manager?
Well, obviously Steve brought me on board about 4 or 5 years ago to Irlam, and I suppose he has given me more guidance in those first few years. And Steve would probably say now he's confident in me going forward, being able to stand alone and go myself, but it's great to have Steve there, and me and Steve are in constant contact all the time, and if ever I do need to ask him anything, like we spoke on the phone this morning, he's always there, and I know he'll give me that support and guidance if I need it.
Yeah, and the foundation is definitely there from last season. Most successful season for the club last season, 8th in the Premier Division.
Yeah.
What are your ambitions for this season moving forward now from what Steve's laid for you?
Yeah, I mean before 2 years ago, our highest ever finish was 8th in the First Division. So to then get promoted, a point off winning the First Division, and then to finish 8th in the Premier Division shows how far we've come really in such a short space of time. Aims for this season, I think your aim always has to be to improve on the season just gone. So we're looking to improve on 8th. Nothing set in stone in terms of position and a target. Obviously we want to see how things go. An aim that we do have as a group is to score more goals. Our defence has been really solid over the past couple of seasons, but we haven't scored enough goals to really kill teams off in certain games, and that's something we've been trying to work on looking at. And I suppose an aim for the season is to be maybe a little bit more entertaining, score a few more goals, but know how to manage games and finish higher than 8th.
Yeah, and it's definitely been entertaining pre-season. You've scored 27 goals, you've only conceded 5. As you say, solid defence there for Irlam. Yeah, 4 wins and a draw.
Yeah.
What's your thoughts been on pre-season?
Yeah, we've had quite a low-key pre-season. I mean, we usually have our friendly against Salford City, which we were unable to get this season, which is usually a real good test. So we've ended up playing teams in and around us and slightly below us, which is a little bit different to what we used to. But it's meant that the lads have been able to gradually come into pre-season, sort of not ease their way in. They've hit the ground running. We had a long pre-season. We started back on the 22nd of June, and the lads have got really fit before these games. And I'd like to think that the scorelines are a reflection on how well we've done, rather than not playing a higher calibre of opponent. I mean, we've played Prestwich Hayes, we've played Little and Remica, who were decent North West County sides, and we've fared well. So, we're optimistic.
And you mentioned the fitness there as well. I'm sure the youth side of things for Irlam comes into play there as well, because very young side, and Steve, as the previous manager, has done a lot of emphasis on bringing through those young players from the 21s. What's your thoughts on that?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, the club's always had a big emphasis on young players. We changed our reserve side, which was in an open age league, into an under-21s, so now we run under-18s, under-21s, and the first team. And still in that first team, there's 6, 7, 8 lads in that squad regular who are under the age of 21, majority of whom live within 2-3 miles of the ground, and you see our under-21s are here tonight, packed full of local young talent who are hoping to push into the first team. So yeah, at Irlam we do give youth a chance. We look after the young lads and we give them a pathway up to the first team.
And you mentioned there about that pathway that Irlam have given. I mean, when I was coming down to the games a few years ago, people like Isley who were coming through, and they've been in the team consistently scoring goals. So it's great to see those young players coming through, like you say.
Yeah, I mean Jordan Isley, Lee White, Isaac Hillage, Carl Cassell, Jacob Hall. All these young lads who have come through Irlam High School, local lads through the junior clubs around here, and are pushing their way into the first team. We look after these lads. We like to have the local lads in the team.
Yeah, and Steve mentioned to me the other day about how the transfer business might be done now. What's your thoughts on who's been brought in and what's been done in the transfer?
Yeah, I think we've brought 3 or 4 lads in. We've been quite low key about who we've brought in, but we've brought in 3 or 4 good, strong lads who'll provide good competition and push the lads who are already here in the first team and improve us. I mean, we don't want to bring lads into the group if they aren't better or as good as what we've already got. And I think we've managed to do that with 3 or 4 lads.
Yeah, and so for the first game of the season, it's the FA Cup tie.
Yeah.
You play Ambitek. How much sort of preparation is going into that, and what is the preparation? What's the motivation going into that game for you?
Yeah, I mean, well, it's the FA Cup first and foremost, which is a big incentive for the players and the management and everyone involved. Such a big competition, such a good competition to play in. Ambitek, obviously another Manchester club, which adds a bit to the tie as well. We had 2 great games with them last year. We won 4-3 here, and they beat us 2-1 away at their place on Boxing Day. So we know what they'll be about. They probably know what we'll be about. It'll be a strong physical game, and the best team on the day will come out on top.
Yeah, you mentioned that you won the home tie and lost the away tie. Do you think the home advantage could play a part in this game at the weekend?
Possibly, hopefully. The lads are used to playing here. We have spoke about making this a little bit more of a fortress, so to speak. And to add to that, we do need more fans through the gates, more supporters through the turnstiles. I mean, we go to places, Runcorn, Linnets, there's 400 fans in there. It makes a massive difference to that home team. So this will be a home advantage, providing the players believe in that and providing that we can get some support through the turnstiles as well.
Yeah, I'm sure the successes of last season and looking forward, as you mentioned, that I'm sure the fans will be fully behind you and maybe attract some more fans as well.
Yeah, hopefully.
And then the first league game as well. Against City of Liverpool FC. Obviously they're a young club, only founded a couple of years ago, and their debut season last season in which they got promoted and won a couple of Challenge Cups themselves. So tough test for you there in the first game of the league.
Very tough test, and it's an interesting one because I'm a teacher and I work with Tony Dunn, who's City of Liverpool's first team coach. He's sort of my best mate in work, and we sort of speak all year about how each side are doing, and then we saw the fixtures come out and we were playing each other first games. That was an interesting one, and we spoke to each other over the past couple of years about the teams and how each other play, and then suddenly we're playing against each other. So he's rang me today actually, but I've ignored his call. I don't want to speak to him just yet, but that'll be an interesting one. They'll be really strong. I feel they've got a little bit of backing behind them. Obviously they had a great season last season, won 3 cups. They beat Atherton Calls last week. Actually went down to 9 men in the game and still managed to pull themselves back and go and win. So they'll be tough and strong. But we had a similar test last year. We played Bootle in the first game of the season. Everyone expects us to get beat. We went there and won 2-1. So we don't fear anyone. We'll be going there looking to win the game. Yeah,
and obviously it's their debut season in this league, just as it was for you last season. So hopefully that experience you've gained from last season and finishing 8th can pull you through that game.
Possibly, yeah. Yeah, we'll find out on the day.
But they'll be a good start as well, won't they? Definitely.
Of course they will, yeah. I mean, I've been to watch them a couple of times now, and the strong, quick, aggressive, physical side, and their fans will demand that they get off to a win, just as I demand from our lads that we get off to a win. So again, it's on the day, it's football, but we're hoping to win.
Just on a final note, then, for the fans watching, what are you hoping to? What sort of brand of football are you hoping for Irlam to play this season?
I'm hoping for us to attack, to go forward. It's a tough league, and I think the Atherton Calls manager Michael Clegg alluded to it last year when he said, you can make silly decisions in games sometimes because you're going for that win. You have to go for that win. Only one team goes up, and sometimes it's a risk-reward situation. You have to weigh up. Do we throw another man up front? But then we can see the goal and we draw or we lose, or But we want to be entertaining, but we also need to know how to manage games. I suppose that's what I'm getting at. And if we need to go tight and compact in games and see it out, then we'll have to do that as well. But from the off, we're looking to attack, to go forward, we're looking to score goals.
Yeah. And any final words? Anything at all you want to?
No, just obviously we just want the people of Irlam. There's so many football clubs, junior football clubs, football fans in Irlam. We just want those people to come and watch this. I feel like if people came down here once or twice, they'd come down here 20, 30 times. They just have to make that initial step to come down and watch the team, and they'll be addicted from there.
Okay, thank you very much, Michael. Good luck for the season as well.
Thanks very much.